Greetings, top of the morning to you. All right. Getting back into some of the things I promised you. I have a list made out of podcasts that I'm going to do and some teaching I'm going to do, and breaking some things down. But how great was the last videos? Thank you for all the watches, likes, and the new people who signed in and subscribed. Appreciate greetings. Come in. This is a place of safety in the fact that we get to the real, but also this could be a place for not everybody, because we're putting spiritual contact that debunks tradition, that unfolds the truth out of the dogma, like the videos I did recently, going into the esoteric and exoteric. And I promised you some of that too, but I'm going to follow up with something a little different. We just had the podcast with our Reiki practitioner that's joined us, and we talked about alternative medicine. Right, this will kind of go hand in hand with it. I'm going to do something an interesting article that I dived into after getting a little post sent to me from my SO significant other, Marissa. And I thought it was very neat because it makes sense to me in so many different levels, right? It really does. The connection of different things connected to us. See the caduceus, which is an ancient, right? An ancient thing we see on all the medical symbols, right? The snake wrapped around a pole. You're the pole. And there's an old saying that the serpent or the snake is to be wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. Also, look at my crown of thorns, or my frequencies of my coming out, right? On the top, connected to the mic, but almost mic looks like a pole, right? The center. And coming out is those symbols or signs of frequency and vibration coming out. And I like that because it's coming out of the crown chakra, up, down, side, north, almost north, south, east, and west are each of the frequencies. So it covers the 360. We heavily talk about true degrees here, where degrees came from. We do that. We go into that with school, and masonry. Let's get into this. I can go, I'm a great at off the cuff and go into different things, but we're going to stay on this subject here today. So let me do some magic here. And let me put some of my glasses on as I do the magic. So let me start off with this little, what I got today, that to me was definitely something that we can look at. And let's see if we can make this a little bigger. There we go. So this is what I was sent this morning, and I really liked it. In Japan, doctors prescribe forest therapy to treat depression and anxiety. The scent of the trees decreases stress hormones and increases activity of natural and killer cells, which enhance the immune systems and lowers the medicine for disease. Wow. And right away, this really caught me. And why wouldn't it, right? This is powerful to me. Um, um, because this makes sense in nature. It goes with alternative medicine. Why we are discovering, and really not, it's been here for ancient times. Your ancestors used these kind of things to go into um, places a long time ago. It's nothing new for them, right? They danced with this, they understood this, they participated with it, and I just find it to be very, very, very awesome. So these doctors here in Japan, which if you really do some research, look it up. I did this a long time ago. In fact, like 8 to 10 years ago, I did this. Having some morning and Joe with you can see I don't know if you guys can see. There we go. It's my wife who's a Scorpio haircut. One more time, see it's kind of hot. I don't know if you can see the Scorpio, but the constellations on the cup, and then it says Scorpio underneath it. Looks like the tail. Stinger out. I've got those before, but anyways, all kidding aside, this is powerful because this is something they're prescribing, going out of the box, going back into nature. And actually, they've been doing it for a while. And I just really looked at this and was just like, I just in awe of this, that you could get this, and I already knew, like, you put eucalyptus in your shower, wrap it around your shower, what that does for your breathing and your the healing that it brings to you in your mind of being relaxed and anxiety, but also opening up all the airways in your body, your bronchioles and everything, so that you breathe that it's really soothing, relaxing, and healing. And I'd never been prescribed that when you had a cold or flu. Notice that when we had the last 4 years before, when we kind of had downlocks, they wouldn't let people go to the beach or to these areas and forbade them, or this is the best healing and the best oxygen and the best everything that would be connected to your immune system to heighten it, to work at its full potential. This is the knowing that we bring here, and we also give the other side, because the other side is obvious why it's not, right? But we see here in Japan that this is happening for a while. I think when we're going to share some more, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to share another screen with this, share something else about with the screen, a more in-depth look at this. I don't want to share something here that I doesn't need, yes, right here. So let's do this too. All right. And we're going to go down. So a little bit. All right. A little bit more up. Share this a little bit more. I'm going too fast. All right. The effects of force therapy on public health and circular economy, a policy support model in Japan. So they are using this prescription to say, go out in nature. And this article kind of goes into why it's really good. Let's go down. Background: force therapy has gained popularity in Japan, even other nations and regions. Let me see from here if I could read better with my regular glasses. Those are my reading glasses. Yes, from a distance, I could see better with these. If it was closer, I would need the other ones. Benefits: therapy upgrading contributed to the development of circular economy, industrial upgrading. Japanese successful practice can serve a model for other countries in the Asian Pacific region. To this end, the aim of the study has to be to determine whether force therapy can improve the whole well-being of participants and has a positive effect in development on circular economy in Japan. Methods: they use empirical, I guess is that word, and inductive research methods were used. The empirical approach was conducted to perform comparative analysis of regional data retrieved from research project of Japanese forestry in 2015, and specifically the efficiency of the therapy on physical blood glucose, blood pressure, body weight, mental sleep, health outcomes. 815 participants was investigated in this. So they did their due diligence to prove it. The regional data from the statistics of Iyama City from 1990 to 2005, after the concept of force therapy became popular in the late 1990s. This element was a great positive impact on the economic benefits of Ishiyama City and other major scenic areas. We summarize and analyze a series of policies made to relevant departments, Japanese government in the years from 2019 to promote force therapy and circulated um, and circulated industrials development. I find this very quite interesting because nature in the foundation of nature, right, is everything comes from the plants, nature, air we breathe. I mean, up until the last 100 and something years with medicine, it was all plant-based and effective. As we know about Dr. Sebi, if you don't know, need to do some finding out about Dr. Sebi and the things he was doing with health and helping people and curing diseases that seems that no one else can find a cure for, right? And on a platforms. I'm talking esoteric now without saying it. For you guys that are here more often, to challenge your esoteric and exoteric knowledge and how to when to use, when not to use, how to balance. It's always usable. We'll even look at this. So we're gonna look at some results. Significant pre-post participation changes in physical measure was observed firstly, meaning weight of those overweight participants decreased from 3 different time points. Enrollment, 3-month participation, 6-month participation with the numbers there in the kilograms, while overall mean the weight of participants decreased to 60, 60.5, and 60.4 respectively. Secondary participants with normal weight showed a decrease on mean HbA1c. Okay. A1c, that would be sugar. 6.9 to 6.09 to 6.06 at week 24, while overweight participants demonstrated a slight change. After 6 months, the average HOMA IR for overweight participants decreased from 3.5 to 2.5 in week 24, while participants normal weight demonstrated a decrease 2.2 to 1.7 in week 4. Forest therapy emerged in Japan since the mid-19s has attracted a large number of tourists all over the world due to unique health benefits. So right away we see that they had it was better for the health with blood sugar, weight, for being obese. Yep, I'm in my warm way. So we'll read a little bit more. I know this is a lot of reading. I would suggest you guys go look this up if you with rapid economic growth over half a century. The ecological environment has been severely damaged due to excessive use of natural resources, excessive emissions of carbon dioxide. Such environmental changes not only resulted in physical and mental health issues, but also global sustainability. And we go into some stuff that we can talk about another time with this, what this means, how is this kind of the yin yang of the system, if you know what I mean. I want to kind of get to the meat of this, not something kind of going under the people's health. So let's start here. In the late 2019, human issues like depression, anxiety, sleep problems increased. And they're saying, because I know why they're saying that it's happened, which destroying the earth and things needed is not a good thing, right? But the earth is very vibrant and can always bounce back, just like you can be healed. It does heal too. Human issues like depression, increased sedentary behavior, physical inactivity are such more due to the we know about that. People's health has been affected in various social various social where am I social pressures which have been exacerbated by the pandemic and ravaging the world for 3 years. The pandemic does not only deal a fatal blow to human beings physically, but it's caused great economic, and we know all that. We know that's a whole different story. Don't let me get on that. This is about the therapy. I can definitely rail on some of that. I don't want to hear about the WHO. Yeah. Regular engagement in physical is an important way to maintain health within umbrella physical activity, mindfulness-based practices such as traditional Eastern approaches like that. Definitely deep breathing, meditation, getting in nature. This stuff is significant. Why it was not taught in the West? I know, do you? But that's a whole different video. Deep breathing techniques. Remember, we talk about that being something that we use and put that, this stuff is toolbox stuff, right? When you get frustrated and you see it coming, revert to, don't go follow through with it. Go into your deep breathing meditations. Important. So what they are finding out as I read a little farther down is that this really, and I have a little bit more, but that's kind of it. Has a charts here showing some of the things it's talking about. With the resources, the therapies used, and how the results now have been undeniable. If you keep reading, I'm not going to read the whole article, it's quite a bit here, but have been undeniable that this is something that has, and why I wanted to link this with the last videos, because we talked about alternative medicine, like with Reiki and of course acupuncture, leaves, basils, different, stuff like that, herbs, very powerful stuff. So nature. So why, this is kind of gets me why Japan does it. Go look up your Google one day. I learned this a few years ago from being in Magic, which is a company with that's product is a water ionizer to give you alkaline water, 7 different waters. So the education, they would educate, it's a Japanese company, they would educate us on the doctoring and the medical approach in Japan, how it differed from the US. And we kind of talked about that the other day, how they seek to look, not if a person has an ailment, they seek to find out what caused the ailment, not look at the symptom and treat the symptom. They go to it's like if I pull your weeds out and I just go to the top surface and pull them out and you go, oh, you pulled the weeds out, but the weeds come back because it's not the root of the problem, it's not the weed. The root of the problem, that it's dug deep down in there, and it has to be, the root of it has to be taken out. And that's where their mindset's doctoring. We need to find the root. That's what's causing your ailments, not the symptoms of the ailments, which this is what's really attacked here, is the symptoms. I'm just going to say this, to me, a little bit A backwards, not a little bit, completely, when you start using your mindset and your consciousness. And you see coding, it's everywhere. You can decode everywhere. You become a master decoder. So I really appreciate that. With the interview on alternative. So this follows up. So in Japan and other countries are interested. I think Europe is definitely interested. Europe will be the front runners on some of this too. And we'll jump on board. This is also happening in other places now, but the Japanese leading. And what I was saying earlier, if you go look up the top medical countries, use some keywords to get what you're looking for, because they know how to use keywords, and when you don't put keywords, they kind of want to flush you to where they want to flush you to. So bypass it, say what is the number one medical nation with the best medical in the world. Japan's always 1 or 2. And you say, well, what about the USA? I don't know what they're ranked now, but they used to be ranked as low as in the 50s. I get it. We're the blank complex, the M complex here. That's not the majority. The M complex, need I say more, goes hand. It's not about that. If it was needing to be done strategically war-wise, they'd have the best of the best and be number 1. But this, of course, is not number 1. So they're never in the top 10. And when I used to talk to people about it, I used to say, well, I would take it into sports for my example, or for my esoteric example would be that if I was a college coach and I wanted to be the best, I wouldn't go to the 35th ranked team or 50th ranked team. I would go into the top 5. Then I might even search out of those top 5 who has multiple championships, and then start wondering what did they do to create the championships to be the best of the best, not what does the 50th, 35th ranked or 52nd ranked team do. That's not productive if I want to be the best. So I wouldn't, I seen that medically a decade ago, and I was like, when you know, you know. That's just the fact. So making changes, uh, doing those kind of things on your life. So uh, this goes to me into nature, because I know, and I'll do this on another thing because it's kind of opposite but the same. I just kind of noticed that my recent dream travels for months have been nature based, so it makes sense. But I kind of knew this, how much better you feel when you go to the mountains, hills, rub nature, get into that vibration, that frequency, that love that's harnessed through that. The original program, not an artificial one. The original program, not an artificial one. The original, the OG, the OGP, original program. Mother Earth. The one that kind of connects to us, right? With the rhythm, the beat, the vibration of Earth, that frequency that it puts out, and the connection to it, right? It looks like this has been going on for, if you start looking at the 90s, you're looking at 30 years they've been doing this and prescribing this, and now people from other countries are going there just to do it because they know this is what they do and what comes with it. So I think this is fantastic. We have to look outside of the box, because even though we know this is a body and it houses within it is the real you, it within itself isn't, because it can change. Obviously, it changes. It becomes a baby to an old man, to an old woman, to process of death, right? Because every person has been a baby at a time. Charles Manson, or anybody you want to demonize as the evil, at one time was a baby. Now you can see it perfectly. Or I can. And your guys' eyes are better than mine. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on this, man. I find it interesting. I'm going to be doing other spots like this. I share the 2 screens that I got, and that's a lot to read. So I'm not just going to keep reading, but I suggest just look it up. It's even on Wikipedia, I believe. I didn't go on Wikipedia, but it's there, right? Appreciate that. You went hand in hand with our last podcast in the alternative. Why did that which was become the alternative? That's another question I asked on the podcast. Just the thought, for food for thought, the curiosity that you can open up doors and say, let me investigate. Let me turn on my intuition. Let me turn on that inner light, in that inner beam of that inner sanctuary. Open how deep breathing can save you. Just learning how to deep breathe. We are, as Westerners, shallow breathe. If you deep breathe, it opens up bloodstream, healing, oxygen in the bloodstream, and there's different techniques of how to do deep breathing techniques. Look them up. We can go over there, request it. We can definitely do a video on it. I would not mind at all showing techniques, or having somebody else show techniques, or watching videos of somebody showing techniques. I haven't shared a video yet, but it's in my mind. I'm new at the sharing and stuff, so I'm kind of excited I can share. I can share stuff now like that, and gets me more into who I am and what I've been, and what really floats and makes me feel purposed into what I'm supposed to do, right? And that's the connection of all. So this is D-Boy, West Coast Uncensored. Anything you want uncensored, we do it. You guys have a great day. Had to put this out, found this article. You guys have an awesome day.